The city of Chicago was alive with its usual rhythm. The sound of traffic, the hum of conversations on busy sidewalks, and the echo of a basketball bouncing on the cracked pavement of a neighborhood court all blended into the evening air. At the edge of Lincoln Park, where tall oak trees cast long shadows over the court, a group of college students often gathered to play. Among them was Ethan Miller, a 21-year-old junior at Lakeshore University. Tall, lean, and driven, Ethan had been playing basketball since he could walk. But to him, the game had never been just about winning. It was about finding meaning in discipline, in teamwork, in the heartbeat of the ball striking the ground and rising back into his hands. That evening, though, something shifted. For weeks, Ethan had noticed a young woman sitting on the benches near the court. She would bring her sketchbook, sometimes a book, and quietly observe the game. She wasn't loud or obvious, but there was something magnetic about her calm presence. Her name, as Ethan would later learn, was Lily Carter. A transfer student from Seattle, Lily was studying fine arts, and her love for observing details made her naturally drawn to the way the game unfolded. The arcs of the ball, the energy between players, the passion in their eyes. Ethan finally worked up the courage to approach her after one of his games. Sweat dripped down his forehead, his chest rising and falling with exhaustion. But when he caught her gaze, he found himself smiling despite the weariness. "You always come to watch," he said, trying to sound casual. "Are you a basketball fan?" Lily closed her sketchbook, her green eyes meeting his with a softness that disarmed him. "I like watching people. Basketball has a rhythm. It's almost like a dance. And you play like you're telling a story with the ball." Ethan laughed lightly. "A story? I'm just trying to make baskets." "Maybe," she replied, "but you play differently. Focused but also searching. Like you're chasing something more than just points." Her words struck him. Nobody had ever described his game like that. Most people saw him as just another athlete. But Lily seemed to see beyond the surface, and that made him want to know her more. Over the next few weeks, their paths crossed more often. Ethan would stay after practice to talk with her. Sometimes, they walked down to the nearby cafe, where the aroma of roasted coffee beans filled the air. Lily shared her sketches with him, portraits of faces, cityscapes, even a few rough drawings of him dribbling on the court. Ethan, in return, told her about his struggles, the pressure of academics, the expectations of his coach, and his uncertainty about what he wanted after graduation. It wasn't long before Ethan realized he was falling for her. Not in the dramatic, sweeping way movies often showed it, but in the steady, undeniable way that grew with every conversation, every laugh, every small silence they shared without discomfort. One night, after an intense practice, Ethan found Lily waiting at the edge of the court again. The lights overhead cast a golden glow, and the ball rolled to her feet. She picked it up, holding it awkwardly in her hands. "I've never played," she admitted, looking at him. "Teach me?" Ethan grinned. "Of course. But fair warning, the court doesn't go easy on anyone." She tried dribbling, the ball bouncing unevenly, escaping her grip, but she laughed at herself, her joy echoing across the empty court. Ethan stepped closer, guiding her hands. "It's all about control. Feel the rhythm. The ball is an extension of you, not just an object." Their hands brushed, and for a moment, the world seemed to pause. Lily looked up at him, and Ethan felt his heart race. The phrase slipped into his mind. The ball is in your court. It wasn't just about the game anymore. It was about her. About them. About whether he'd take the chance to tell her how he felt. But he hesitated. Days passed. Their friendship deepened, but Ethan kept his feelings guarded. He had lost before, lost games, lost trust, even lost someone he once cared about when life pulled them in different directions. He wasn't sure if he was ready to take that risk again. Then came the intercollegiate tournament. Lakeshore University was set to play against their long-standing rivals from Northwestern. The gym buzzed with anticipation. Ethan's coach put the weight of leadership on his shoulders. "This is your game, Miller," the coach told him. "Show them what you've got." But as Ethan glanced into the stands, it wasn't just the scoreboard on his mind. It was Lily. She had come, sketchbook in hand, cheering quietly but with eyes full of encouragement. The game was brutal. Sweat poured, muscles ached, and the roar of the crowd was deafening. Ethan played hard, but the opposing team was relentless. With seconds left on the clock, the score was tied. The ball landed in Ethan's hands. Time slowed. Every voice in the gym faded, except the one in his own heart. The ball is in your court. He could shoot. He could pass. He could hesitate. But he knew in that moment that it wasn't just about the game. It was about his life. About choices. About courage. He dribbled, faked left, stepped back, and released the ball. It soared through the air, spinning, gliding toward the hoop. The buzzer sounded just as it sank cleanly through the net. The crowd erupted. Lakeshore won. His teammates rushed to him, lifting him in celebration. But Ethan's eyes went straight to Lily. She was smiling, clapping, her eyes shining. And in that victory, he realized something. Winning on the court meant little if he didn't take a chance off the court. After the game, with adrenaline still pumping, Ethan found Lily outside the gym. The chilly Chicago air bit at his skin, but his heart burned with resolve. "You once said I play like I'm telling a story," he began, his voice steady but vulnerable. "But the truth is, the story doesn't mean much if I don't tell you how I feel." Lily tilted her head, her smile gentle. "Ethan, I like you," he said, finally letting the words free. "More than just a friend. I don't know where this will go, but I know that if I don't say it now, I'll regret it." For a moment, silence stretched. Then Lily stepped closer, placing her sketchbook against his chest as if handing him something precious. "You're not the only one who's been waiting to say that." Relief and joy collided inside him, and he laughed softly, shaking his head. "So what now?" She smiled. "Now, the ball's in your court." From that day, their bond grew into something beautiful. Their relationship wasn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It was about showing up for each other, about small kindnesses, about believing in one another. Lily continued sketching Ethan, sometimes sitting in the stands during practice, sometimes capturing him in quiet moments of reflection. Ethan, in turn, found inspiration in her art, her patience, her ability to see the world in ways he never had. And every time he stepped onto the court, every time he held the ball in his hands, Ethan carried the reminder that life, like basketball, was about choices, about taking risks, about trusting that sometimes the ball in your court is the chance you've been waiting for. Years later, long after college, when Ethan looked back on that pivotal season, he realized that the championship game had not been the true turning point. The real victory had been the courage to speak his heart, to